This is the Media Police Post from the Fort Hall School of Government. In this show, we police the state of truth in the Republic. And because truth is communicated to us by journalists and analysts, we have made it our civic duty to put it to the test. We advance from two confirmed truths about the media. One, and in the words of Roger Stone, the media is either lazy or evil, and for the most part, it is both evil and lazy. That is why the truth, their truth, must be put to a test. Two, another confirmed truth is that journalism is verified gossip. In fact, what is presented to us as news analysis is gossip that has been verified by journalists. This gossip has to be ground-truthed. We will monitor columnists. We will assess the state of truth in what they submit to the Republic, and we will pass verdict on what is true and what is not. For the record, we are not journalists. We are thinkers. We are not lazy or evil, and we do not verify gossip. What we give you is the truth that sets you free. On today's show, we will discuss either our favorite columns of last week or columns that reflected unformed and uninformed opinions and columns that made you stupid. These are columns that fell into the cognitive trap of we see things as we are, not as they are, or that are based on conjecture history. Lastly, there are ones that smack of envelope journalism. Welcome GK and CS. What will we be reviewing today?
Asante. Now, there's a headline in the Star this morning. A Jubilee borrowed 3.3 billion daily in 2020. And I ask, isn't it curious that the headline says that Jubilee borrowed instead of saying government borrowed 3.3 billion daily? It made me feel stupid because honestly, I wondered, what does the Jubilee party want with all that money? And I was also puzzled because we know that political parties primarily get their money from membership contributions and fees. At that point, I realized I was looking at a little slippery creature called envelope journalism. And then I wondered, could they be trying to shift our attention and to distract us from something else that is looming? Let me tell you a story. It is the story of a Hebrew prophet named Jonah ben Amittai. Jonah was sent by God with a very specific assignment to a place called Nineveh. But Jonah refused to do what was required of him. Just like Jonah, RUTO was given a very specific assignment to be the principal assistant of the president and to do any other function the president may assign. We invite you to open your Bibles to Article 147 of the Constitution. RUTO was issued with this mandate by the people, and as Babaman likes to recite, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, voice of the people is the voice of God. But RUTO Arab Singh, alias Arab Mashamba, has rejected this voice and absconded his duties. But this will not be without consequence. RUTO, like Jonah, boarded a boat, let us call the boat Jubilee, and he initially paid some of the Jubilee membership fees, the fare for sailing on this boat. But then a mighty storm ensued, and everyone on the boat was afraid. They even started throwing out baggage from the holding area of the ship to make the ship sail smoother and not capsize. Baggage like Murkomen, Rongo wa Kangata, and Susan wa Keheka. But the storm still raged. Then the captain noticed that there was someone sleeping where the baggage had been, and he asked him why he was sleeping when everyone was combating the storm and trying to keep the ship afloat. Then the captain and the other sailors realized that God had caused the storm because of this man, who, while others were rolling up their sleeves, he was sleeping and dreaming about Tanga Tanga, the Udaku party, and other things. And also because this man had rejected the work that had been given to him by the voice of the people, which is the voice of God. And so the only solution was to throw this man overboard. And sure enough, when they threw him off the ship, the raging sea grew calm. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you are a stranger in Jerusalem, you will know that there has been a storm in Jubilee and there's been a storm in government. And whatever your political leanings and persuasions may be, we all know who is causing these storms. And the solution is to throw Jonah off the boat. You can try to distract us with misleading headlines, but RUTO is getting thrown off the Jubilee boat so that he can focus on his Udaku party, and he will also be thrown out of government so he can properly attend his attention to being in opposition. And by the way, we hear the ICC is still looking for him.
Wow. I like that.
I really do.
Yeah, and on the same vein, here is a story for William RUTO from the Decembrist uprising of 1825 in Russia. Decembrists were a group of Russian revolutionaries who in December 1825 led an unsuccessful revolt against the Tsar Nicholas I. One of the rebels was arrested and sentenced to hang. However, on the day of execution, there was a small problem. The rope around his neck broke and he fell to the ground. As he got to his feet, he yelled to the crowd saying, "In Russia, they can't do anything right. They can't even make rope." In those days, a man saved like this was pardoned. But as the Tsar signed the pardon order, he asked if the rebel had said anything after his lucky break. The messenger replied, "Sir, the rebel said that in Russia they don't even know how to make rope." "In that case," said the king, "let us prove him wrong." The king tore the pardon order and the rebel was hanged the next day. This time, the rope did not break. The lesson here is that RUTO has been a political fool. Tomorrow, when RUTO is expelled from the party, it will be because he himself has for the last few years weaponized words to attack his own king, Uhuru Kenyatta. RUTO created the background of acceptance for this removal from the Jubilee Party to happen. He gallivanted around in Kenya saying they can't do anything right. And it is his own words that will be the rope that hangs him. So the question now is, who will inherit RUTO? It won't be that hard. Some small ethnic arithmetic shows us that whoever is to succeed him at a bare minimum must bring an equivalent of RUTO's 2017 voting bloc, which was just 1.4 million people.
I can't even say anything. Those were absolutely awesome words. And I will wait for tomorrow with popcorn and hot tea. But I'd like to take us a bit on a tangent and discuss something that was written this week by Martha Karua, the so-called face of the anti-BBI camp. She published a defense for the self-help group she shares with David Lee called Linda Katiba on the Elephant. Her article was given the unimaginative title of What #Linda Katiba is and why it matters. Her article had two arguments that I would like to counter. Argument one, Karua says that Linda Katiba is a citizens' voluntary initiative, a collective movement of Kenyans determined to resist BBI. However, Linda Katiba is an 8-person team that lacks the critical mass required to make the initiative legitimate. It claims the membership of 47 unnamed organizations and 200,000 plus unidentified Kenyans. If Karua says that #Linda Katiba will help citizens sift through the falsehoods being peddled by the proponents of BBI, it is our duty to sift through the falsehoods being peddled by #Linda Katiba. And we know that BBI is supported by at least 1 million Kenyans who are over 18 and are registered voters. This is a fact that was verified by an institution, IEBC. Who is the verifying authority of Linda Katiba's membership claims? Where is the critical mass? Argument two. Karua says that the current constitution holds great promise as it currently reads and would be transformative for Kenya when fully implemented. The key word here is when fully implemented. My question for her is what in her view is full implementation? The American Constitution, the gold standard for democratic rule, has been in place for over 200 years. In that time, the ownership of humans, black humans, segregation of races, political suppression of women were all legal. And at each point, the lawyers like herself and myself would have argued that the Constitution was being implemented fully. So, let me end on this thought. I understand that the former Justice and Constitutional Affairs Ministers under Kibaki, you feel personal about changing the 2010 Constitution. But don't let your personal involvement blind you. As Confucius said, only the wisest and stupidest of men or women never change.
Yeah. When the facts change, you have to change
your mind.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on Media Police Post. Columnists, we have put you on notice. Join us next week.